Welcome everyone, so glad you're here. Before we start, a quick shout out to @meow631 on TikTok for sharing this amazing story. Thank you. Now, let's dive in. The unicorn lands faced an unseen, insidious threat. Early signs mimicked a common cold, a deceptive whisper of impending doom. Nobody truly understood the danger. A low fever persisted, then fatigue became a constant companion. Runny noses and persistent stomach aches spread silently. The seemingly harmless symptoms gradually worsened. Headaches pounded, an unrelenting rhythm of pain. A general sense of unease settled over the population. The quiet invasion began, hidden in plain sight. Phase 1 symptoms lingered past a week, a chilling sign. The true nature of the illness revealed itself slowly. A new, terrifying disease had gripped the land. Absence of hunger became profound, bodies wasting away, horns sharpened unnaturally, some even fractured and exploded. Magic itself started to fail. Persistent pain racked every limb, a constant torment. Hooves began to deform grotesquely, twisting into unrecognizable shapes. Hope for cure dwindled. Contamination intensified dramatically during weeks 3 and 4. The infection's grip tightened, becoming aggressively virulent. Sufferers entered a new, terrifying stage. Ponies endured constant agony, their minds barely clinging. Aggression flared, fueled by weakness and deep paranoia. The world darkened considerably around them. A raging fever of 41 degrees Celsius consumed them. Severe fatigue made movement almost impossible for days. Bleeding occurred from gums, nose, and other orifices. Legs and hooves twisted, becoming utterly unrecognizable. Horns exploded, a grotesque eruption of bone and blood. Vision and nervous system suffered immense damage. This torture must end before it consumes us all. Few ponies survived to reach the final, gruesome stages. Death offered the only true escape. The fever surged, becoming lethally high. Bodies cooked from within, a horrifying internal inferno. Kidneys failed first, then lungs, then other organs. Multi-organ failure ensued, a cascade of bodily collapse. Constant pain and extreme irritability became the norm. Erratic behavior signaled impending demise. Death arrived, a grim, inevitable conclusion for many. The suffering ceased, replaced by an eerie silence. Only hollow whispers remained. "Can you see anything?" a hushed voice inquired. The world felt eerily quiet, an unnerving stillness pervading everything. No immediate threats appeared. "No, everything is too quiet," came the somber reply. The silence stretched, pregnant with unspoken fears. Was this quiet a good omen? "I don't know if that's a good or bad sign," the voice pondered. The uncertainty gnawed, a constant companion in their desperate flight. Hope seemed distant. "At least we haven't encountered any of those things," a whisper confirmed. The mutated horrors lurked in the shadows, waiting patiently. They still needed supplies. "Are you keeping track of how many days have passed?" one asked. The stench intensified, a grim reminder of decay. Time blurred into a nightmare. "If I remember correctly, and that pony wasn't lying," she mused, 12 days had passed since their escape. The world outside was a dying place. "It's been almost 12 days now," the answer came back softly. The flickering candle cast dancing shadows, highlighting their weary faces. Rest was essential. 22. "If there's no movement by tomorrow, we must move the remains." The words hung heavy, a desperate plan forming. The stench was unbearable now. "You wouldn't dare." The plea was urgent, tinged with fear. Disturbing the remains would draw unwanted attention. Safety was their only priority. "We were incredibly lucky to find this abandoned place." It offered brief respite, a fragile sanctuary. Drawing attention meant certain, painful death. "It's literally rotting just a few meters away from us." The putrid smell was debilitating, weakening their resolve. They couldn't ignore it much longer. "Besides, we need supplies," a practical voice urged. Their provisions dwindled rapidly, a stark reality. Survival demanded dangerous ventures. "For now, we just need to rest." The decision was made. Sleep offered temporary oblivion from dread. They clung to small moments of peace. "Sweet dreams, Mew," one whispered into the darkness. The candle flickered, then extinguished, plunging them into complete blackness. Night brought new terrors. "Same to you, Shuddler," the reply came, barely audible. The oppressive silence of the abandoned building enveloped them both. They hoped for a peaceful morning. "Do you have everything ready?" a voice questioned softly. The air was thick with tension, a new mission looming. They prepared for the unknown. "I know you don't want to do this, but..." The words trailed off, filled with heavy resignation. There was truly no other choice. "We have no other option." The stark truth was uttered. Survival dictated harsh measures now. They had to venture out once more. Keep your voice down and don't use your magic for now. Discretion was paramount for their survival. They needed to maintain a low profile. Here we go. A silent thought of firm determination. The door creaked open, revealing the desolate street. Every shadow held a threat. Is it quiet? A soft whisper confirmed the silence. The abandoned houses loaned, empty shells of a former life. The street appeared deserted. Left side, clear. The immediate vicinity offered no signs of danger. Their careful reconnaissance continued. Every direction needed checking. Clear, came the relieved whisper. The street stretched empty, a desolate landscape. They cautiously moved forward, eyes scanning constantly. Right side, same, all good so far. The all clear was given. For now, the tension eased slightly, but vigilance remained. Safety was fleeting. It's safe to go out, one declared, though uncertainty lingered. A sudden, terrifying realization struck, chilling them to the bone. Dread filled the air. It can't be. A horrified gasp escaped, their eyes fixated on the horrifying sight. The train, a symbol of their past, now brought terror. The train, the voice trailed off, filled with despair. It was a twisted, bloody wreck, a nightmare come to life. The scene was horrifying. There were children there. The words were choked with pain. The innocence of the past shattered, replaced by grim reality. Canterlot was lost. Canterlot, I will miss you, a mournful whisper. The once vibrant city was now a desolate, haunted ruin, a deep sense of loss. 10 days were enough for everything to end, a voice heavy with sorrow. The swiftness of the apocalypse was truly terrifying. Life changed forever. Canterlot is a total loss. We can never return. The heartbreaking truth settled heavily upon them. Their home was irrevocably gone now. Will Luna be okay? The question hung in the air, unanswered. Hope for others remained, a fragile ember in the darkness. They pressed on. Shuttler, get your knife ready. We didn't know what's inside. A new danger loomed, requiring preparedness. Every step was fraught with peril. No matter what is behind that door, the resolve was firm. Fear pushed aside. They faced the unknown with grim determination. Courage was their shield. I won't let anyone hurt you, N01. A fierce protectiveness surged. They stood united against the encroaching darkness. Their bond was unbreakable. I'm ready, a determined voice confirmed. The gleaming knife reflected their unwavering resolve. They moved forward into the ominous darkness. Luna, save us. A silent prayer was whispered. Hope, however faint, clung to that name. They desperately needed salvation from this nightmare. They cautiously entered the darkened building. Every shadow seemed to writhe with unseen horrors. The air was thick with a metallic stench. Is she dead? A trembling voice questioned softly. A fallen figure lay before them, motionless and still. Their worst fears were realized. But she looked so healthy. The words were filled with disbelief and sorrow. The suddenness of death always shocked them deeply. Life was fragile. This can't be happening, a desperate plea against reality. The horror was overwhelming, almost unbearable. They wished it was a nightmare. We can never thank her enough for everything she did. Gratitude mingled with profound sadness. Her sacrifice would not be forgotten. Thank you, for everything. The words were choked with emotion. A small, crumpled note lay near the fallen pony. It held a message. A note, a glimmer of something unexpected. Perhaps a final message from the fallen. It needed to be read immediately. Perhaps it's her last will. A thought arose. They gently retrieved the note, its edges worn and stained. A desperate plea awaited them. The note revealed a picture. 2 ponies embracing joyfully. She had her special pony. A voice whispered softly, a poignant memory, now tragic. The handwritten message appeared on the fragile paper. It was a desperate account of escape and survival. Lyra's final words to Bon Bon. Bon Bon, I didn't escape. I hope you can read this. The opening lines were heart-wrenching. Filled with despair, Lyra's fate was sealed. I wish you were safe. It pains me I cannot protect you again. A loving, protective sentiment transcended the pages, her last act of devotion. Before the last train, you told me to stay home, but one of them saw her, forcing her to flee, a cruel twist of fate. I helped 2 Canterlot journalists. The train moved, but not far, a glimmer of heroism amidst despair. She helped others until her last breath. I was bitten. I hid in a cabin and don't feel well. The infection had claimed her, just like so many others. The disease spread relentlessly. My horn exploded. Blood has been falling on my face for hours, a horrific image, a testament to her suffering. Her end was near. I'm starting to get dizzy. I guess my end is coming. Her strength failed, her life draining away slowly. The final moments approached. I'm very cold. I can't eat anymore. I have no strength. The weakness was overwhelming. Hunger a forgotten sensation. Her body gave up. In my last moments, I regret not having hugged you tighter. A final, heartbreaking lament of love and loss, a life tragically cut short. We were very happy together, a beautiful memory, a painful contrast. I will be with you even if you can't see me. With love, Lyra. The signature was a final, tender touch, a message of enduring affection beyond death, a beacon in the darkness. We will try to find her, a promise made through tears, a desperate hope to honor the fallen. Their journey continued. We must keep going. The need for survival outweighed grief. The evacuation day was uncertain, a blur they had to endure. The evacuation efforts neared their heartbreaking conclusion. Ponies rushed, desperation etched on every face, a final chance to escape. If anyone can hear me, you can still save yourself, a voice cried out, a desperate beacon. Time was running out for everyone. Ponies of Kendalot, we still have hope, a defiant shout against despair. But suddenly, a terrifying sound shattered the air. Something emerged. What was that noise? A voice questioned, fear palpable. A monstrous figure appeared, twisted and horrifying. The true nightmare began. It was a creature of corrupted flesh and broken dreams. Its eyes glowed with malevolent intent. Fixed on them, they were truly trapped. Mia lay on the ground, lifeless, covered in shadows, her once vibrant form now still and haunting. The monster had claimed her. Mia, and oh, a horrified scream tore through the air. The realization hit them with crushing force, another life taken, another hope extinguished. A blinding flash of magic erupted, a desperate defense. Shuttler fought with all her remaining strength. The light momentarily pushed back the darkness. The monster recoiled, a grotesque shriek escaping it, its form distorted, a terrifying dance of shadows and light. The battle was fierce. A large, dark figure emerged from the shadows, Princess Luna, corrupted and broken, her eyes burning with madness. Hope turned to despair. It's not time to sleep yet, a chilling voice echoed. Can you continue? Luna's voice, twisted and raw, she was no longer their princess. Princess Luna, once a benevolent ruler, was now a monster. Her sanity was gone, replaced by madness, her hunger and thirst insatiable. Her mental status was chaotic, her physical form marred, dark spots covered her once pristine body. She was a shadow of her former self. Damn monsters, Luna shrieked, a primal roar. Her once majestic wings were torn, her horn cracked. She blamed everyone for her fate. It's all their fault. Her accusations were baseless, fueled by torment. Her eyes burned with a terrifying rage. She lunged forward. This is the last train leaving. Hurry up and escape, Luna screamed, a final act of twisted mercy. She yelled back the monsters, for now. Kendalot has fallen, Shuttler cried, tears streaming down her face. The weight of their loss was immense, crushing their spirits. All was lost. Quickly, more of those things are coming, a new voice urged, filled with urgency. More mutated horrors approached, relentless in their pursuit. Take my suitcase, a pony offered, a final gesture of help. The burden was heavy, but necessary for survival. They had to leave. I'll carry it, Shuttler responded, taking the load. Every ounce of strength was needed now. They fled into the darkening world. The air grew heavy with a suffocating dread. Every step taken felt like a final one. The city's screams faded behind them. The silence that followed was even more terrifying. It was the silence of a tomb, a testament to loss. Nothing remained of their home. The journey ahead was uncertain, fraught with danger. They carried the weight of the fallen, and the burden of survival. Hope was a distant star. Nightmares haunted their waking hours and restless sleep. The faces of the infected flashed before their eyes. The horror was relentless. They walked through desolate landscapes, forever changed. The world was a graveyard, a silent monument to despair. There was no going back. The scent of decay lingered, a constant reminder. It clung to their fur, their clothes, their very souls, a world consumed by disease. Every rustle of leaves, every creak of wood, startled them. Paranoia was a constant companion now. Trust was a dangerous luxury. They sought refuge in abandoned ruins, shadowed and cold. Each new dwelling offered only temporary safety. The threat was always present. The chilling whispers of the infected echoed in the wind, their moans, a mournful symphony of suffering. The disease had no mercy. Food and water became increasingly scarce commodities. Hunger gnawed at their bellies, thirst parched their throats. Survival was a daily struggle. They remembered the happy times, moments of pure joy. These memories now brought only a profound sadness. Innocence was forever lost. The quest for a cure seemed a futile, desperate dream. The world was too far gone, swallowed by darkness. They simply endured. Their weary bodies moved onward, driven by instinct. The will to survive was their only remaining strength. They would not give up. The nightmare continued, an endless, terrifying odyssey. They hoped for an end, a new dawn, but only shadows stretched before them. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out at meow.meow631 on TikTok for the original story. See you next time.